I want to put the grinder together now. I bought this grinder probably 30 years old. And the reason why it's still stuck together here is because it's all made out of like a cast iron. Okay, and my theory on things is if I were to buy something like one of these things that grinds, it does this, it does that, and it does the other thing, well, you got to worry about the motor. Okay, you don't have to worry about the motor. This doesn't have. Oh, yes, it does. There it is. That's the motor. Okay, so when I put this together, I'm going to be turning it, and it's going to grind. Okay, hopefully it'll come out like spaghetti. You know what I mean? And that's what we want. That's what we want. Now I'm going to put it together, and this is what they call a worm. You see it? Now that goes in here first. Even in a big grinder, it's got a worm. Where I work, the worm is actually, I can use it for barbells. To tell you the truth, that's how heavy the worm is. And God forbid that it should break, it would cost I don't know how many thousands of dollars for it. Okay, now on that worm, this is what they call a blade. Okay, this is a blade. I ran it over the plate there before we got started a little bit, so that it's a little sharper to go through. It's going to have to cut this beef. Okay. All right, and this is a plate. This has small holes in it. Now, this is for the small holes. It's usually used for beef and veal. You can use it for pork, but I wouldn't. I would use one where the holes are bigger. If you're going to use just beef, this is good. If you're going to grind, say for instance, a beef, pork, and veal 2 times, this is fine. Okay, and it is fine. It's got the smaller holes, but I do have the bigger holes. If you're going to just grind pork, the bigger holes are better because that's more of a fattier type of meat, and this is not the best to use, and plus it's not refrigerated. Okay, that's another thing that's very important. If you continue to grind stuff out of something like this that is not refrigerated, this room is not refrigerated, this is not refrigerated, then it's going to come out sort of fatty or looking. And it's not attractive to you or me, but you know at least what it is. Okay, so I'm going to put this. This is what they would call a ring. This is going to hold. That's going to hold everything into place. I'm saying a little prayer to myself, to God, to help me out. I hope it doesn't come out all, I hope it comes out like spaghetti. That's the way it's supposed to come out. Okay. I'm going to cut these pieces of meat smaller. This will be a help. I think we're going to try and do this 3 times. I think 3 times is pretty good. I'll see though, because these holes are smaller than the small holes on say for instance a grinder, a commercial grinder. They does maybe 1,000 pounds of meat at once. They have the big engines, and they can push the meat out pretty quick. I'm going to grind it 3 times so that you can use it for anything. And it's going to be tender. It's not going to be coarse, a coarse type. If you like it that way, 2 times is fine. That was the way it used to be done. I remember when I was a kid, that's how many times we used to grind the meat, was 2 times. And that was all. All in a regular, with a regular plate like that. I'm going to make good meatballs. I would say make it, grind it 3 times. I'll see how it comes out. Okay, one drawback of this is that there's nothing that I could really put all this meat around. There you go. I lost a little piece of it. There you go. Now this is if you want to exercise and you don't want to pay money for something that's going to break on you sometime down the road. The next 2 times I think it's going to be easier. Okay folks, now this is the trimmings that I had. I ground it 1 time through this, and this is what it comes out to look like. Okay, now hopefully the next 2 grinds they'll come out more stringy than more of a clump. But it came out pretty nice. Okay, I'm going to give it another try. One thing I think I mentioned before was that this doesn't have a tray around it, so that I can put all of this on there and stuff it in, and it doesn't come with a something to push it in. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's coming out pretty good. And I'm not killing myself up here. Gotta watch my fingers. Okay. This is the first grind right here. Now this is the second. Coming out more like a spaghetti, a thick spaghetti, but this is it. No, I'm gonna give myself a break. I'm gonna put it right there. Okay folks, I'm going to take the grinder apart That way we can put the meat through again if we wanted to. Okay, this comes off easy enough. This is where all the action is, right here. This that I'm unscrewing, this is what they call a ring. Any grinder has one. Okay. Alright, this is a plate. It's a small plate, but it fits this. Okay. What comes off next? See that? Now I put some fat there. That's what sometimes causes the meat not to come out looking so good. It's your knife. And actually, that's more meat. And there's nothing wrong with it. But that went through 2 times. So this is called a worm. Okay, you see the meat, when you press it in and you're turning it, this is going around. That's what you're turning it. This is going around. This part is going around with it, pushing it through the holes. That's why keeping the knife as sharp as you can is a big help. Okay, and this is the chassis of it. Like I said before in the beginning, it's not going to break on you, so you don't have to worry. It'll be good for another time. Okay, folks. Now this is the second. This is the second grind, and now we're going to give it one more third. We're going to do it a third time, and that's going to be that. But you can see it's coming out more and more single life, if you want to say. There you go. Now this is the third time it's coming out beautiful. I cleaned the head and the meat is coming out terrific. Okay, you know what? It's helpful with something small like this to run something behind it, like a piece of bread with a hard crust. But let me show you. This is the third grind. Pretty nice. So you have something nice. You can make anything you want out of this. Hamburgers, Swiss steak, meatballs, anything you want to make, you can get out of this here. So this is the ground chuck and that piece of round roast. This is it. So folks, I hope you learned something. And when you go to the store, don't forget, you're spending your money. You make them do what you want them to do. Okay, well, we'll see you until the next time. I'm the Family Butcher, and thank you, and please subscribe.